doing our first 3D print. So to do our first 3D print, we need the two software, Slicer and Prontoface, running. And in the Slicer, we do a let me start from beginning. We do a add, and then you select the right file, which I recommend would be a 20 mm box. So you select that, which will add up the box here. This is just a simple box here, cube sort of a thing, as you can check on the simulation. And you need to make sure the print settings, filament settings and printer settings are correctly set up. I can just go through them. The layer height will be 0.3 mm. Parameters can be the default 2 or 3, 3 here, fill density 3. The layer height was important at 0.3. This is the most important, and rest all can be default. In the filament setting, you need to make sure 1.75 mm is set up here. The bed height, the bed temperature should be 90, or you can also keep it at 80 to speed up your prints. And the first layer, the extrusion temperature can be at 230. And the printer settings, your bed size, you can have it at 180 by 180. I just kept it at 150 here. The nozzle diameter is very important, 0.4 mm. So once you are all set, click on export G-code, export to the desktop, and you export. And once it says it's exported the G-code, you go back to Prontoface, you load the file that you just created. You can simulate it to see if the layers are all correct, and then you do a print. So print will heat up the heat bed, then heat up the nozzle. So I speeded up for this video. I speeded it up a bit by preheating the bed. So the bed temperature is already at 90 degrees Celsius. The extruder temperature is now rising, and once it reaches a 230 temperature, the print should start. While it's going to print, I want to tell you that the bed should be as clean as possible. You should not have like fingerprints or oil marks or anything here, because the 3D printed part has to stick properly to the heat bed. Okay, so our temperature is now almost there, 230. Bed is also heated up, and we are going, hopefully the print will start in a minute or so. So as we can see, the bed is almost heated up to 90 degrees. It is at 88 degrees right now. So we are just waiting for the bed to reach 90 degrees. 90 degrees is the temperature we have set for the bed. We are going to print ABS as the material, that's why we need a heated bed. So 89. Once we hit 90, almost there. So once we hit 90, our 3 axes home, and then after they home, the extruder nozzle starts heating up. So that will heat up to 230 degrees, as you can see on the LCD. The extruder heats up quite rapidly compared to the bed, and to help heat the bed, you can make sure your 3D printer is inside the enclosure. That helps in heating up easily. Or you can switch off the fan or remove any source of direct air drafts over the 3D printer to help the bed heat up rapidly. So now the extruder is heating up to 230, and once it hits 230, our first 3D print of the 20 mm cube will start, hopefully. So few quick things while I just my camera. Okay, few quick things to note before you even attempt your first 3D print, and make sure you do it every time, is level your bed accurately, as accurately as possible before printing. Bed leveling is the number one problem for most of the failed 3D prints. The other thing to note is that the bed should be as clean as possible. So you should not have any fingerprint marks, oil marks, or anything to help the filament stick. Okay, so there we are. Our print is just starting. The print starts by printing an outline. The outline helps do two things. It makes sure that the nozzle is purged and cleaned, and also prints a boundary. So there our cube is being printed. For any 3D print, the first layer is perhaps the most important layer, because that is the layer which sticks to the heat bed. This is the infill. And that goes as the second layer. You can see that the speed of the second layer is usually faster than the first one. The first one is kept slow so that the filament sticks to the heat bed. The third layer comes in, and so on. So it looks like our printed part has stuck well to the heat bed, and everything is going pretty well. Now the hexagon pattern is being filled in. So what happens is that this helps keep your 3D printed part light, and also reduces the use of the filament. It's actually pretty good to look at. zoom out a bit. On the prawn interface, live status is updated and the print continues.